feel that the security considerations for Pulsechain's consensus strength are very, 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 very similar to Ethereum 2.0's. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense.
We're forking Ethereum 2.0, not Ethereum 1.0. So you beat it out of me, you fucks. You wore me down, okay? So the logic was, do we have more faith in the BSC consensus, which we found flaws in, or rotating to several other options of not very well audited consensus, or the extremely well audited Ethereum 2.0 consensus? And my logic is that if you're going to make things right, doing them during a bear is a beautiful time to do it. And I think it will be quicker to use Ethereum 2.0's consensus than to properly audit and secure Corellia, which is a version of Click, which is what has a lot of problems. And so it was maximum secure and minimum time to market, because we didn't know, like, you didn't know whether the merge was going to work right. Could have not worked right. And you didn't know if they'd ever get to doing it because the delays were nearly endless.
Yep.
But after they did it, and after it worked right, it was the obvious choice. And so Pulsechain will have upgrades, but be primarily the same consensus mechanism that Ethereum 2.0 uses, but is now called Ethereum 1, right? Like, no one called it's not. Right. Ethereum 2 is now Ethereum 1 since the merge worked. So it's strong. It's safer, it's faster, and any upgrades that come in the future for Ethereum, such as sharding, we will get on our chain. And we wouldn't have got had we stayed with Ethereum 1, because the forks would have diverged. And so it's just better. So we're doing what's better, and it didn't take us any extra time to do it. So it's actually good news.
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel Hex Token Represent, and of course your host Superman in the house. I thought I'd have fun with the intro today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And of course, yeah, Pulsechain and Hex, man, rocking it on with the DMV. We've got quite a few other good projects to talk about as well. PulseBitcoin looking shaping up really nicely, and of course having an impact on Pulse Dogecoin finding as well. We also got a few more things. We've obviously got the Hedron to talk about, and what else? Internet money, and a few other things as well. So Hex Daily Stats coming up as well. So stay tuned for all that coming down the line there. Now I've got a poll up at the moment around the Hex price. So we're going to get into that. And of course, what price will Hex be by the time of the Hedron Hex HSI auctions on the 13th of November? What price will Hex be by the time of the Hedron Hex HSI auctions by the 13th of November? We've got less than or equal to 3.1 cents, which is kind of where we were getting support at. We've got 3.2 to 3.5 cents, 27%. So actually, I shouldn't do the percentages yet. We're going to wait and see how they get on. And we've got 3.6 to 4.2 cents range, and then of course greater than or equal to 4.3 cents in the weeks ahead. So by the 13th. So I don't know how many days it is. Was it 20 days, something like that? So yeah, let's see what the poll results are at the moment. We're going to get into all the Hex price. Let's go in at the moment and see who's in the house. Got a few people in the chat there as well. We're going to have a quick look at the futures market and the commodities just to kick it off. And we're going to get into crypto and Hex, of course, as we go. Liftoff is imminent, says Rothko. Good to see Rothko in the house there. And of course, let's change this up a little bit here. We've got, let me just get into some of the stuff here as well. We've got check my pulse LFG commencing countdown engines on. That's true. And of course, a PLSX and PLSX for the win, says Bloodfish King. That is so true. Going to be an amazing week. Yes, says BC. Looks like it's shaping up for an amazing week. The market looks like just shaking off. The interest rate rises coming up on the 2nd of November at this stage. But of course, we're going to have volatility, folks. It's not all just going to be a green bar, I don't think, to the end there. So we expect to get a bit of a mixed bag, maybe in the second half of the week. We've got 7 working days until the interest rate rises. 7 working days. So we'll see how we get on there. Adam says, what do you guys think about PulseBitcoin? We're going to be talking about that later on. Pac-Man in the house as well. Woo, let's go. Talking about Bitcoin, BitBoy over there. We're definitely exciting stuff happening there. BitBoy fighting the fight. Definitely get some support around the regulations there. Ted Nelson says, what's up, Superman? Hey, everybody. Good to see you, Ted. And, of course, if you welcome to everybody, actually. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. All that good stuff. And join our Discord. We're hitting up to 900 members, folks, and you can be part of that awesome community. You like good information, good community, hit the link in the video description. A way to go there. Sandy Beach in the house with the beach. We always love Sandy. And, of course, Lies Beneath, hello, how are you today? Very good. And here's the ultimate strategy of this channel. Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLX for the win. Absolutely. And we are waiting patiently for the launch of Pulsechain. I'm hoping, of course, that it might launch in January. Sorry, December or January. Maybe we'll get a V3 testnet in November. That'd be a pretty nice play, wouldn't it? I think we'll all be pretty excited there. Hello, Hex Token. Everybody says Sandy Beach. And, of course, who else there? Swearworks in the house there. Good day, Super. Good to see you, Swearworks. Hex Hoddle in the house. Hey, y'all. Good to see Hex Hoddle as always. Hex Hoddle always dropping some alpha in the chat every time. It's always great to have Hex Hoddle in the house. Andrew as well. Happy Monday, everybody. Another green candle day. I know. Woo! It's exciting. We've been enjoying this as well. Hex Hoddle says, been missing the Hex Token streams even in the evening. Yeah, well, I think it's kind of moving to the one stream. I've just got to get back to doing more short form videos, which I'm trying to focus on. I've been getting a bit distracted with other things lately, so I'm just trying to get onto that myself. Hey, mix in the house there as well. Bloodfish King as well should have got PLSD at $4.10. And Crypto Tycoon in the house. Hello, everybody. Good to see you as well. CT. Who else is in here? Dave Down Under. All I want for Christmas is a Hex pump and Pulsechain PulseX. That sounds pretty good Christmas present to me, to be honest. Christopher's in house as well. Like the big heart there. And is it the hat, the shades? That's pretty cool. Andrew says, I'm staking some Hex today, maybe a short-term ladder. Didn't have one before, says Andrew. Nice one. We've got to give Andrew the clap for that one. That's a Hex skin right there. GM Superstar says, Get Hex. Good to see you, Get Hex. Hexian as well. Good morning, all. Good to see you, Hexian. Who else is in the house there? We've got Great White. Hey, Great White. Good to see you. And I love those emojis. Looking really good. We've got party time from KD. Definitely a party time. And great to keep up the great work, KD. Man, oh man, Texan Token airdrop, very popular. People are claiming that all over the place, and that is huge for adoption. As I said, Texan Token is going to be also focusing on onboarding for Pulsechain up to 500,000 people just in Texas alone, but they're actually going international, and of course, we're supporting that. We're just trying to support really big opportunities for onboarding and mass adoption of crypto, and of course, in particular, Pulsechain. So very exciting stuff there with KD. Christian's in house there. Let's get on and jump aboard if you want to fly with Superman. I like that one, Christian. I like that one a lot. Hey, thank you, Hex Token, for the video with Pepe. It helped me today, says Sandy Beach. Hey, you're welcome. Pepe was really great. What a great guy. He was really, really fun guy and very knowledgeable, obviously, and a bit of a whale in that ecosystem as well. Hexkins are the best of kins, says Hex. I like that one. And, of course, free claim for Texan Token as well, says Christopher. That's true. Hexkins are the best of kins, says Sandy Beach as well. We've got a few other comments in the house there. Let's have a look here. KD says, hey, Superman. Hey, KD. Let's jump through some of these. We've got Crypto Freedom in the house there. What's up, Superman? Good to see you, Crypto Freedom. Always a pleasure. Hey, it's great to have so many people in the chat there, man. I mean, that's what this is all about. The community really makes this a fun ride, doesn't it? The community is so cool. Crypto Claz in the house there. Morning, family. Good to see you, Crypto Claz. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And Crypto Cav, it's in the house there too. Woohoo! Good to see you, Crypto. J Ra, good to see Ray Ra as well. We've got a lot of people in today, man. This is really, really fun. Pulse says, yes, I like your short form videos as well. Yeah, I'm going to try and get out more of those. I've actually got one to record. It's all done, and I need to get that out. That's if you missed Pulsechain. We're going to cover that, and Rango in there too. Good to see you, Rango. Michael Racine's in house. Hey, great stuff. Good to see you, Michael, as always. And KD says, I rewatched the Pepe stream as well. What a great interview in Alpha, says KD. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. In the interviews that I do, I like to just let the person that I'm interviewing, just drop all the alpha for us, right? So I hope you guys like that format. I ask a few probing questions here and there, but I really do like to let the person being that's coming on board just to educate us, and it's great. It's great to see that. Capellico is in the house there. Hey, Suitman, this Token launching on ETH. Sorry, out of the loop. Yeah, I believe so, but KD can answer that in the chat there. KD can answer that one. What else there? All I've been following mostly is the airdrop there, the free claim. So KD can probably answer that one for you. All right, so cool. Mix says, yes, it was good to see Pepe. It was indeed. And Sandy Beach says, yes, I like the info. It's so helpful. Hey, look, I might have a big surprise for you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned. I have a big surprise for you guys tomorrow, and that should be fun. We'll see how that plays out. Looking good so far. So stay tuned. Woohoo! Texas Token will launch on Pulsechain, says Sandy Beach. That's great. We'll launch on Pulsechain, that's for sure. All right, let's get into it, folks. Welcome. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you're watching this video afterwards, of course, leave your comments. I do respond to all the comments. And of course, let's get into it. So at the moment, looks like we're going to lead into this week really positive. Obviously, here in New Zealand, Kiwi land, we're well in the future, and it's currently already 12:43 p.m. in the afternoon on Monday, the 24th of October. Is that crazy? I know that in other places around the world, Los Angeles, it's still 4:30, quarter to 5, is it? Quarter to 5 in the afternoon yesterday, so it's still Sunday over in Los Angeles. And, of course, New York, it's a little bit later, 7:30. London, of course, is now in on Monday, but it's only quarter to 1 in the morning. So that's a pretty early there. They're only just flicked into it. And so tomorrow we're going to have the first day of the stock market open in America. And of course, that would be looking pretty good so far because we've got the futures at the moment. You can see them here. The US 30, US 500, both up almost 1%. They're both up almost 1%. So maybe that is positive for tomorrow. Sometimes this can reverse, of course, when the actual markets open up. At the moment, futures are looking at a very green start for the week. So very, very cool. Let's have a quick look at the commodities. We've got West Texas there at the moment is up a third of percent there, and West Texas is up 0.5%, $91.66 on Brent oil and $85 on West Texas there. So a little bit of increase there. Gold is up $13 to $16.69, and silver is up 54% there, almost 3%. This is an interesting increase in silver to $19.60. And of course, if you have not, if you know Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think it's pronounced Kiyosaki here. He's a pretty famous guy, helping people who are particularly don't have a good financial advice become wealthier with his Rich Dad Poor Dad books, and he does lots of podcasts and things like that. Now he's talked about silver being the poor man's investment, and he potentially sees that if the Fed Reserve pivots, and of course we potentially might see that by December, then the dollar will dive, and so silver will potentially do very well in the months ahead. And so he's talking about potentially up to let me just think about how much he was talking potentially up to $500 silver. This is what he's talking about, potentially up to $500. I did notice in his recent tweet that he did say $100 to $500. So that would be a 5x minimum on there. So with a maximum of 25x returns on silver. So it's an interesting play. And if you were thinking about if you go risk off, right? So risk off means that the market's scared and things are really, people are just trying to go to safe havens. What have you got? You've got gold, you've got US dollars, and you got treasuries, right? And treasuries are looking really shaky, to be honest. The yield's been really high, but the treasury is looking a little bit shaky there. Now, if you've got those three as risk off vehicles, then obviously silver is kind of a nice proxy for that too. With the gold. So, but he's looking at if the Fed pivots and, of course, the dollar starts to dive again, then silver could have a really big rally. So that's a pretty interesting play there from Kiyosaki. If you want to find out more, go check that out. You can find out on YouTube. I'm sure he's got a couple of podcasts talking about that. So that was pretty interesting, and also on his Twitter account. So pretty interesting there. And of course, we'll watch to see how that plays out into next year, right? Into 2023 on the silver. All right, so that's pretty much it. Looks like we're looking good at the start of the stock market for this week. And of course, the crypto market's 24/7. It doesn't stop. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it just keeps going. It doesn't have a weekend off. It just keeps going here. And of course, we got BTC up 1.8% at $19,641. ETH is up at 3.7% at $1,368. BNB is up 1.85% at $277. Looking pretty good. Matic is a real standout here. Look at Matic, up 8% to 90 cents at the moment. And of course, that's on the Polygon chain. Remember, Aave also, one of the big DeFis. Now, we know we're going to have a fork of Aave called Fiat. I would like to see other people fork Aave too. I would like to see some competition in the space. I would like to see Power City add a fork of Aave to their suite, and of course get some competition in the DeFi. We want a couple players in there, and I'd like to see the innovation in there. We want good innovation, good competing for customers on the Pulsechain. That's a healthy environment to have a couple of things. I just don't want one, in the case of DeFi, having one organization run it. I'd like to see some competition in the DeFi space. This is very critical stuff. This is where you can put stable coins in, get yields, decentralized, and things like that. So it's very important. And of course, having some of your top quality tokens in there as well. So if you had accepting liquid loans, for example, USDL, loan token, a Power City with the Watt token, all these top tier utilities going to be on Pulsechain. We wanted to see a nice leverage play, margin banking play on that with a fork of Aave or something like that. So looking forward to that on Pulsechain. So there's some of the cool stuff happening there at the moment. Market looking pretty green. So it's pretty cool. Let's get into a bit of a commentary here about, let me just make sure I've added my screen in here. I just realized I haven't added my screen. So let's screen that up there. So we're talking about here, we've got BTC at 19,640. We've got ETH at 1368 and a BNB at 277. And as I said there, we've got a Matic there at 90 cents there as well. Sometimes I forget to add my screen in, but that's we did it today. All right, cool. What else there? We've got a couple of comments. I'll get into that in a second. Bitcoin will shoot over $100,000 in 2023 before largest bear market, says trader. All new all-time highs are closer than many might think, says Credible Crypto. But so is a brutal bear market unlike any other, says this trader. So there's a bit of a Twitter space storm here. And of course, some sky in the pie stuff, sort of blue sky thinking there. Bitcoin will top 100,000 next year, but a record-breaking bear market will follow, popular trader believes. In a Twitter discussion on the 22nd of October, Credible Crypto endorsed a theory that Bitcoin's next halving will also see macro lows of just $10,000. Bitcoin bulls need only wait a year for 100,000, with consensus calling for Q4 2022 to match the end of the 2018 Bitcoin bear market. Few are in the mood to call for a trend change. While a bold prediction from Look Into Bitcoin creator Philip Swift recently gave the current bear market just months to live, most commentators continue to target new lows. For Credible Crypto, however, the really interesting territory lies further ahead, but 2023 will constitute a major turning point after setting new all-time highs of at least 100,000 BTC USD will come down from its blow-off top in a way never seen before, he believes. The next bear market will bottom out even lower than this year's 17,600, giving buyers a chance to enter the market as low as 10,000 as late as 2025. Agreed probably in 2025, methinks. Credible Crypto replied to the original prediction put forward by fellow trader and analyst Mr. Parabolic. First, a new all-time high in 2023, blow off top, a fifth wave above 100,000, followed by the largest bear market we have seen yet. That is the worst than the current one in both time and price, taking us to a 10 to 14K mark that everyone is waiting for now. Another active social media trader, Crypto Tony, found it harder to agree, calling for a macro low early in next quarter, followed by a new uptrend. From 10,000, I actually kind of feel like that might actually play out, that last bit. From 10,000 Bitcoin to $2 million Bitcoin, that's pretty exciting. Elsewhere, others have given levels between 10,000 and 16,000 as the likely floor prices in the coming months. The 10,000 price tag belongs to Flib, co-founder of Trading Suite, Decent Trader. Meanwhile, popular analyst Capo of Crypto continues to insist that 14 to 16K will swiftly enter after Bitcoin sees a relief bounce to around 21,000. All I see is a lot of shorts that should be squeezed. He told followers on October 21st, subsequently suggesting the bounce was now beginning. Shorting support is not a good idea. Sending it to 21K, then nuke it to 14K. That's crazy stuff in the old margin trading. Longer term, meanwhile, asset manager Larry Leopard is betting on a Bitcoin trading at the giant 2 million. So that's from a Larry Leopard there. That's a longer term view now. $2 million per coin in the next 6 years. BTC and USDC traded at around 19,200 at the time of writing, according to data from Cointelegraph, and that's kind of where we are. So there was some interesting a Twitter space there, and of course we've seen recently Richard Hart's been holding some absolutely alpha Twitter spaces previous months, and of course getting huge engagement as well, coming up and smashing up against many of the Bitcoin maxis as well. So that's been a bit of fun. So I thought you might guys find that interesting. That also leads us into PulseBitcoin, which we're going to talk about later. Obviously Pulsechain is going to have its own version of Bitcoin, and I think it's a pretty cool setup. And I think when we look at the numbers, you're going to see that they're actually doing pretty well on the old numbers there. So that is pretty much that. Let's get into a couple of the comments. We're going to get into the Hex price pump. Look at this. Woohoo! Go Hex. Yeah, boy. 3.58 cents. Man, it really made a nice little move here as well. Up. Last time I checked, it was up about 12%. So in 3 days. So what are we up to now? Yeah, 14, just 14 and a half now. So it's gone up even higher than I had. So nice 14.5% move there, particularly in the last 2 days on that candle. So very, very cool. Let's get into a couple of the comments in the chat. We've probably got a few more since I said hello. I think we got up to Michael Racine there. We've got Brennan in the house. Good morning, Brennan. Archipelago's in the house as well. Hi, Superman. I think we talked about Archipelago's one there. I think Sandy answered that, and I sort of answered it too. And maybe Katie's responded there as well. Charity says, can you tell me, Superman, is Pulsechain now centralized as it's going to be a fork of ETH 2? Well, it's a decentralized in terms of proof of staking. So I guess it's that's probably the answer there. There's all the 32 ETH stakers there and staking pools. There's 5 different ways of participating in the validation on Ethereum. What else? My silver says Wookie. Yeah, true. Vigilante says this guy can make anything sound good. Should be announcement for the horses, says Vigilante. I appreciate that. And well, the horses that's going to win the race is going to be the Pulsechain and the Hex horses and the Pulse Hex horses. I think Incentive Horse is going to do pretty well too, Vigilante. I love me some gold, says Christian. I love me gold too. You got to have a little bit of gold, but I don't have any, so that's fine. But you should have some. Liquid loans is for Pulsechain. Someone should start one for Pulse X. Then says Pulse Beta. Well, actually, people will probably, I think they're going to diversify their lending into multiple pools. I think we'll see USDL flooding across a lot of the top trading pairs, to be honest, like all the Richard Hart tokens, for example. 100,000 BTC is like a meme, and it's a mere 400% pump or a 5x. There's much better opportunities, says Hex Hodl. Buying BTC now is after a 2 million X pump, says Hex Hodl. And, of course, Tim Top's in the house there. What's up, Tim Top? Hey, good to see you, Tim Top. So cool. Hex Hodl says buying Hex now is after only about a 10x pump from the first day of AA, says Hex Hodl. Some good insights there from Hex Hodl, as always. Catching up, doing some yard work, says Sam. Hey, Sam, always a pleasure. I hope your golf went well yesterday. Vance says, nice to see Hex waking up from the nap. Yeah, it was definitely in a nap there, but accumulation phase, right? Accumulation. Hex Hodl says Hex is going to pump to something unbelievable, stupid. Once Pulse is about to launch, as the LPs will pull the Hex liquidity out in order not to get diluted by the fixer bot and get the copies rather. That's true. Nice one there, Hex Hodl. All right, so cool. That's where we're at the moment. We're looking pretty good here, getting closer to the Fed rate high. Look at that. It's only 7 working days away. And, of course, you can see that here coming up there. In fact, I've got that at 9 days here at the moment. That's getting closer and closer and closer as well. So that's the Fed rate. We're expecting 75 basis points, but there is a scenario for the midterms of 50 basis points that a lot of people aren't pricing in, but I'm pricing it in. It's definitely a potential scenario there. We will see what they do. At 75% is the mainstream one there, I think. Now, obviously, we've got the HSI stakes, and that is currently about 20 days away, so just under 3 weeks now for a Hex HSI stakes. And, of course, that's going to be the big auctions. And, of course, we're expecting a big play, especially for about 89 big HSIs that are over 1 million Hex in there. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be after. We also know that in the beginning of, let me just get rid of this, at the beginning of November, probably early November, we're probably going to have the Poly Maximus product launch. We'll have the minting phase probably in here somewhere. And then, of course, they'll be having bidding strategies to win some of those big hex stakes that are going to be up for grabs, those hex HSI stakes. So that's going to be fun to see. Something like 200 million hex on those stakes. They're going to be the big targets. A couple of them have launch bonuses, but surprisingly a large number don't. And so pretty interesting there. I did see a comment by Randy Alaski, as I said yesterday, that he was talking about the fact that people, that some of them was, so I thought was pretty funny. All right, so cool. We've got obviously coming up further than that, we've got the Hex third birthday here on the 2nd of December, and then the second Fed rate hike. And of course, this will probably be the last big one in my view. And of course, unless they signal that they are actually more bullish than the market thinks. So they'll get to about 4.5% federal funds rate around here. And that's kind of their target at this stage, targeting 2% inflation. And of course, they'll be hoping that the inflation comes down. So the inflation is going to be coming out, I think it's about it's about the 9th. I think it's about the 9th here of November. So that's the big target. If that's weaker, if that comes down from 8.2% for the month of September, sorry, for the month of October, it comes down to below 8.2%, because then in September it was 8.2, and then that would be very bullish for the market, because that means that gives extra food for the Federal Reserve to pivot from their high aggressive interest rates. So hopefully that will be the case, and that will be bullish for us. But November is still the time where I feel like that's if we're going to get some sort of a new bottom in BTC and stuff like that, that will be when it happens. We know that the market can turn pretty fast and go bam, 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 down thousands and thousands of dollars pretty quickly. So we'll be looking at November still is the vulnerable period where we may see that bottom. So we're looking out for that. It may decide, if the Fed does give us more positivity, we could power through November. We'll see what happens there. But so far at the moment, at the end of October, we're looking pretty nice, right? We've got a nice little green start to the week. But I do suspect that we may get some volatility towards the second half of the week. So just stay tuned for that. All right, cool. That is where we are at the moment. Now, I've got Pulsechain V3. Will we get that launching in November? That'd be pretty nice. That would be bullish for Hex, man. This Hex price will just start running away. I'm pretty sure we get a V3 testnet out there. I think it has more significance now, the test network, if we get a V3, because it's not going to be the BSC network. It's going to be the ETH proof of stake network. And of course, let's see. That'd be pretty bullish, right? So in any case, if it's not here, maybe December. But of course, this is hopium here for a January, February launch. But maybe it's going to be March or April next year. There is a scenario of March or April. I hear some voices out there. But hey, man, imagine December or January would be a pretty nice Christmas present. It would be after Hex's third birthday, and of course the highest of stakes. If they've got commercial deals, can they get the highest of stakes released in December? I'm not so confident about that. I kind of feel that highest of stakes, if you think about how long it takes to get commercial deals up, you got to go through the middleman, and then you get to get to the deals. They have been progressing that for quite a while, I think, for at least a couple of months. But yeah, that can take a while to get happening. So if they can get December, that would be a miracle in my view. But of course, if they could get it into Q1 23, that'd be pretty nice as well. So yeah, I don't want to get too optimistic there on that one. Now, that's kind of where we are at the stage on the Hex chart, looking pretty good last 2 days, and we'll take that from the bank because we were in this accumulation zone. We're still in the accumulation zone, and nothing really changing there at the moment. So cool. There we go. Let me just jump back out of to the whale bot. Have a look at what the whale's been doing over the last 24 hours. We had 40 million Hex in staked. That was a 9.9% APY. This is a short one of these short, large holders that are just staking their large volume of Hex, scraping the interest, as it were. We had some good accounting come in. We love that. We've had lots of good accounting lately, I've noticed, actually. Lots of good accounting, and they just keep coming. That means, stakers get 50% of those penalties. Pretty nice there. 66 million Hex staked for 10 days. There's a lot of these short stakers. As I say to you guys, a lot of them just restake. They're just short staking there on those short candles. There's another one, 58 million. Just keep restaking short, the vast majority, especially at this price range. And then we had this nuke, this one here, 706 days out of 3,650. We saw a couple of these over the last couple of days from memory. This one here, big nuke here. So who knows? Maybe the wallet gets compromised, just the way it goes. That's pretty much it for the whale bot. Let's jump over to the Ethereum Power Network and have a look at how Hex is doing over there. Because it's actually, yesterday had a bad day. The last couple of days hasn't been too good on the ETH Power Network for Hex. But you can see it's dropped all the way down to number 13 here. Remember when ETH launched, Hex was dominating at the top, but now we've got all these other peers, which is positive. The trading volume on ETH is at $2.4 million, so that's what almost double yesterday, 27,000 transactions as well. Hex at the moment at 0002988, so basically 0003. I remember the all-time high is 0.004, which is 0.4 of a penny. So it's well short of that. But it did have a good day in the office. $4,700 trading volume at 18% almost on the upside there. So obviously following the Hex on the ETH chart up there as well, but getting bigger percentage gains, but on very small retail volumes, very small. There's a real small retail play here, and you get small retailers playing this game on the ETH network. Now, ETH, of course, is even smaller, $29,000 a 24-hour volume. That's not great at this stage. Maybe in the future it will recover in a bull market maybe, but at the moment it's not really. 29,000 versus Ethereum Power at 2.4 million. That's a big gap. That's a big gap. ETH Power, of course, has all these exchanges and more support. ETH is still struggling to get that scale. But Hex is still dominating on ETH and of course, we can see that it's actually up 27% here on the different peers, 27% on the ETH Hex fair pair, and it's at 000263, so only just behind the ETH Power network now in terms of price. The volume is actually better volume on the ETH 6,000 on the main trading pair there, and of course up 26% there. So pretty small retail play, of course, $6,000, but you know, because we get a $6,000 trade would be a small trade on PulseDogecoin or a tiny trade on you know, a relatively small trade on Hedron or something like that. So this is the total volume. You can see what I mean. It's a real small retail play there. That's kind of the where Hex is, but a good day in the office across all three chains, ETH Power and ETH for Hex, even though these other two are very low volumes, and nice to see. Yeah, Hex is almost at 3.6 cents. Amazing. So get into the poll, folks. We've got 77 votes. Let's see if we can get 100 votes and definitely smashed it out. What price will Hex be by the time of the Hedron Hex HSI auctions on the 30th of November? And of course, that is this yellow line here, this dashed one here, this first one. And so let us know. We've got 3.1 cents, less than or equal to, between 3.2 and 3.5 cents, between 3.6 and 4.2 cents, and finally greater than or equal to 4.3 cents. I don't want to go too aggressive on the price range. I just looked at the chart and thought, yeah, they're kind of reasonable ranges on the chart there. So cool. All right, so let's jump out of there. We're going to have a look at Hedron, but maybe before we do that, let's get into some of the other charts that are here. We've got the Hex base here, ratio at the moment. Let's have a look at that. We've got the Hex base at currently 1.01 Hex versus base. And of course, we've got Trio at the moment. Let's have a look at the 3-year perpetual. Have a look at the ratio 1. It's all basically on 1 at the moment. So for the Hex Trio, pretty interesting, eh? Pretty interesting. And finally, on the Hex Lucky, the 7-year staking perpetual, we're at 1.04. 1.04. And finally, on the DESI, the 10-year one, we've got the 10-year one, we've got 1.03 on the Hex DESI one there. The Maxi at the moment on USDC at 6.1 there, 6.1 cents on the old Maxi there. I need to bring up the right chart. I still haven't updated that. That is pretty much the one is showing the US dollar price. So that's pretty cool. But let's get into the Hedron chart at the top right here. I'm going to go full screen on this one. Bam. And of course, here is the chart here at the moment. What are we doing? Down 2.32% on the 24-hour. And of course, just getting a bit of selling going on for different reasons. And of course, earlier today, we had a big $118,000 sell. So, you know, we look at the charts, but if a big holder decides to sell stuff, it can really change the look of the chart. And of course, you really have to absorb that sell pressure. We saw that on Pulse Dogecoin over the last 2-3 days, right? Pulse Dogecoin, we saw that where big whales decide to exit rather than move into the future products. And that's just the way it goes. At the moment, 2.8 million liquidity. I think we're at 2.9 million for the last couple of days. So we're down to 2.8 there. And at the moment, we've got 5 zeros and then 4014. So if people are wondering what that little 5 is, it's 5 zeros behind the decimal place, then 4014. So we're just going to use 4,000 there. So we're at 4,000 on the price with 5 zeros in front of it, of course. We can see that we've had 64 buys on the particular trading pair, 25 sells over the last 24 hours. We've got 32 buys and 10 sells, and we've got 1 buy and 0 sells. So we've got a lot of buyers we just had that, a couple of bigger sellers. That's the volume of the sell is bigger than the buyers. We see that on Hex all the time, right? We see the Hex tons more numbers, but we've still got quite a few heavyweights that can change the game on the sell side with their large volumes. And of course, that's changing over time. We see that in the staking ladder. We don't have the billion candles anymore. We're getting under, we got a few over 300 million sometimes, but we're actually getting lower and lower and lower, unless they all decide to, stake on the same day. Those are the short stakers we're talking about there. But that's pretty much it. So still looking pretty good there. 24-hour volume, 807,000 on Hedron. Compare that to, what was that? That's 6,000 on Hex on ETH Power. So 800,000, you sort of see the scale. It's a much bigger game for bigger players, is the Hedron and Hex, right? So just the way it is. At the moment, of course, we've got some nice, Elliott wave playing out here, and we've also got a nice cup and handle as well. And of course, the cup and handle is being tested at the moment, though, because of that big sell we had today. We're now back. It got a little doji, maybe a little dragonfly. It's not quite a dragonfly, but it's pretty. It's got a nice little doji there sitting at the moment. Now, obviously, that got sold out. We had a big sell earlier in the day. I think we can see the trade there on that one. Let's go back down here. Early in the day, we had a big sell. Where was it gone? Yeah, this one here. So we had a couple in a row, bam, 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 bam. But this big $818,000 sell here, 29 billion. That was the one that really moved us down, I think, quite a bit. Once we got through, we had a lot of buyers coming after that. Then we had some big sellers coming in again. That moved us there, finally below the 4,000 mark. So that's where we got our dip from. And then, of course, we've had some buying, all this buying coming in now, getting bullish. So looking good. Still holding on to this cup and handle, but just at the moment, we'll see the next day will be pivotal in my view. The next day is going to be maybe the next 36 hours pivotal for this cup and handle. If it does, of course, we've got this chance to get into that 5,800. And of course, if you guys saw my Hedron price prediction video, if you haven't checked that out. That is talking about getting to 4,800, 5,000. But with this cup and handle, we've got a target here up to 5,800. And of course, we've got more bullish scenarios as we head up into this Fed interest rate hike. Now, I did say that we would have, in that video, we would have volatility getting up to here, up to 4,800 to 5,000. We're currently at 4,000, just to give you an idea there. So that's pretty important. Let me get rid of all this other stuff on the side here so we can get the full chart. And so, if we get up to 4,800, we're talking about up this zone here. So that's kind of where we're talking about getting to. And of course, breaking past this previous high here as well. And also this downtrend as well. This downtrend is based on the log chart, not the linear chart. This is a linear chart I'm showing you, but it's based on the log chart there, and so forth. So if we go to the log, you'll see that's the log chart there at the moment. So that's where that's touched. So we're going to be watching this pretty carefully. Now, obviously, we're expecting a lot of excitement. A lot of people are talking about the Hedron chart leading up into the big HSI auctions, and you can see that in green. So that is on green. I did show that on the Hex chart, but that is where we're looking at the moment. We've got the Fed. We've got a couple of things in the way though that can cause volatility, and we've got the Fed only 7 days away or so. That's coming up, and then after that, we've got the inflation there on the 10th of November. That is the inflation number for October and November is on the 10th. So if that is softer, if we see 8.2% inflation coming down softer, maybe 8%, then that would be bullish, maybe even lower. I'm not sure what the expectation is at the moment, but if it was lower than that, then that would be super bullish. So if it's come down just a little bit, that'd be pretty cool. So it's where we're heading at the moment, coming into the HSI auctions, and that's the big deal, right? And the first day is the big day. The first day is where I think there's over 2,500 HSIs, and of course that's when a lot of the something like 89 hex stakes with over 1 million in them, something like close to 200 million hex in those. Is going to be an auction, so people are going to be bidding for those, and of course, going to be interesting to see what they sell for as well. We also got, obviously, this is going to be pretty huge. We've got the Poly Maximus product launching. That's going to help all the small players get together and bid like whales, and of course, benefit from high yields and all the rest of it. So it's pretty nice. Dipcatcher and Gold Key are really helping the small players, and medium-sized players, small players. Really play like whales, and people are very thankful to what they're doing because they're really changing the game, optimizing outcomes for people. It's pretty neat. All right, so cool. That is where we are at the stage. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. We are getting a bit of a challenge in here, though, at the moment. So what we're doing with these charts is trying to play probability, right? It's not certainty. That's very important to remember. Whenever someone's showing you this stuff, it's not certainty. We're playing probability. But at the moment, the formation's looking pretty nice. Got an Elliott wave in there. We've got the cup and handle. And, of course, we've got a resistance line looking like we possibly break that. But the next 2 days will really firm up this formation here. We've also got the longer term. So even if this breaks down, the cup and handle, we've still got this nice wedge here. And, of course, uptrend as well. So we've still got a lot of factors coming up here and the fundamentals leading up to the HSI auctions on the 13th of November. And, of course, we may get when the Poly Maximus launches at the beginning of November around the Fed rate hike. Couldn't have been a better time. It could be a better time because that's going to be bullish, right? It's a bullish sign that more demand is going to come in for these HSI auctions. And, of course, that means bigger Hedron burn, bigger ICOSA inflation, and bigger ICOSA rewards for those staking Hedron, ICOSA, and Watsas. So we're playing probability here, and it all looks pretty good apart from the market volatility that these two different events may occur. So we'll be watching that pretty good. All right, so that's pretty much Hedron at the moment. We're going to jump over to jump over to the airdrops. So let's go back to the airdrops here and get into this and see what's going on here at the airdrops. So we've got PLSD at the moment. We're going to jump over to the full chart for PLSD. So let's get into that for the full chart here. Now, obviously, PLSD is related to the PulseBitcoin, which has just been launched. It's basically like a dual token ecosystem, but it may end up being a triple token ecosystem or more coming up. So we'll be looking for that. At the moment, we've got the two different things that you can do with the PulseBitcoin is the transform. So we've got that running for 60 days. And then we've got the ASIC miner token also running for 30 days. So this is very bullish for the chart. And we're finally actually getting some nice little chart action here. We've got a breakout of the all-time high of $9.53. We're currently at $7.97. We were higher yesterday. We were at $8.41. So we have had some nice little tops here showing some resistance. But we've got this solid uptrend here and massive burn. So we're going to talk about that. Pretty exciting. Let's look at 24-hour volume. With $761,000. Looks pretty similar to the Hedron one, doesn't it? It's not too far behind. The buys there, 178 versus 125 sells in the last 24 hours. 49 buys versus 39 sells in the last 6 hours. In the last hour there, buyers winning. But, of course, it just depends on how big the seller volume is, right, at a particular time. But that's looking pretty good at the moment. Let's have a look at the period. So this is what we've got going. Obviously, once this period finishes for the transform, this is super bullish for PLSD in the sense that we'll have the final supply, whatever's left over after the burn, because all the PLSD that's put into the ASIC here, which I've misspelt, so let me just let me fix that up there. ASIC, everything that's put into the ASIC of PLSD gets burned, which is huge for the supply, making this meme coin dramatically scarcer. And so we're going to find out what that's going to be. Let's jump over to some of the updates from the Twitter space there. How's everybody liking PulseBitcoin so far? That's from the developer there. To anybody skeptical of PulseBitcoin, read the comments. These are real people and real sponsors. You may want to pay attention. And, of course, we've got Grayson here says, you literally changed the outcome of 70% on my crypto portfolio. This could have been a very depressing year for me. I'm no stoic either. My family would have been affected. I'm telling anyone who will listen to me about PulseBitcoin and, of course, Pulse Dogecoin ASICs, the token as well. Hex is the conduit that brought me here, says Grayson there. Interesting comment. Now, we had some other stuff in here too earlier, 8 hours ago. Wow, check this out. We are nearly 40% of all Pulse Dogecoin burned in exchange. So coming back to the chart here, we now got close to 40% that has been burned here. And, of course, we can get the real numbers here on the actual website. So this is PulseBitcoin app. Now, you can find all the links in our Discord, the links in the video description. But look at this is the transform for PLSD. We've got huge numbers here. Look at this. 720, I should say, Pulse Doge have been burned. So 2.4 million burned so far. That's 39.5% of the total supply. The total supply is 6,094,000. That's incredible results. Absolutely amazing. And look at what day we're in. Day 3 out of 60. So it's still got 57 days to go. That's pretty impressive stuff there. We've got the global ASIC from Transform. So every time you transform a PLSD token to an ASIC token for mining, you get 5 as a 1-to-5 ratio. And so we've got 11,769,000 assets at the moment. And that's pretty amazing to see. So that's pretty cool. The asset token mine at the moment, we've got the results at the moment. 1,029 ATMs have been minted. Now, this is different, of course. There's a little bit like the WhatsApp, where you can actually mint using, you don't have to use PLSD to mint assets, to get some assets later. You can use USDC, USD Tether, DAI, Wrapped ETH, Hex, and Hedron. Now, and from my point of view, it's going to be interesting to see what this is used for. Obviously, when you develop a ecosystem adapt, you have costs, right? You have costs. So I would expect the team to pay up, to cover their costs. But it'll be interesting to see whether it's the remaining money is used to leverage the ecosystem, right? Develop new products or influence the market price in some way. That'd be interesting. We got the global active ATM count there of 1,029 ATMs. So that's active token miner ATMs there. Global ATM points, 562,000 points with a 1x multiplier at the moment. So that's pretty good. And of course, those people are going to be earning ASIC from holding those. But like the WhatsApp NFTs, they're going to be earning where you earn Hedron and stuff. When you earn a COSA, it's a bit like that, but you're going to earn ASICs as well. And ASICs, what do you need ASICs for? Just like the PLSD transform, you need ASIC tokens to mine. Just like an ASIC miner for Bitcoin, ASIC miner for Bitcoin, you need it for mining PulseBitcoin as well. So that's pretty cool. You put your ASIC in there as well. You can see there's PLSD at the top there, ASIC. There is no PulseBitcoin at the moment. So if you see a PulseBitcoin contract, that is a scam. There won't be any PulseBitcoin at least for another 27 days or something like that. So remember that there's no PulseBitcoin, but you can add the tokens to your wallet. That's pretty much it. All right. The current reward at the moment, 7.5% on the mining reward at the moment, and with an ASIC mining fee of 0.25%, making the asset token itself deflationary as well. So that's a kind of nice feature there. There are 3,530 miners so far. So if you're one of them, congratulations. And of course, the halvening, just like Bitcoin goes through halvening, this is going to go through halvening as well. But this halvening is based on demand. So the more people that are mining and earning the rewards, the quicker the amount will be go to halving. The first goal, of course, for the first halving is 10.5 million PulseBitcoin. Remember, just like the real Bitcoin or the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin chain, it's going to have 21 million tokens in total. So the first halvening is at 10.5 million tokens. That's pretty awesome. And of course, how fast that happens depends on how many people are mining. The faster people are mining, then the faster this will be hit. At the moment, there is certainly 8.26% of the first wave has gone. So 867,000 PulseBitcoin versus 10.5 million PulseBitcoin. Pretty fun. I really like this. I really do like this a lot. And I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be fun to see this play out. And of course, basically, Pulsechain is going to have its own, if you think about it, have own kind of Bitcoin play. And of course, this kind of mirrors that Bitcoin. And I think it's been a lot of good thoughts gone into this. Very good for branding. And we're going to be watching it very closely as well, see how it goes. So lots of fun. It's good to have fun in crypto, right? It's good to have fun in crypto. And of course, but you only have fun if you're in decent products, decent projects, right? There's a lot of crap out there, to say the least. So you must find the golden goose, as it were. And of course, Richard Hartz is the golden goose. And of course, it's nice to see other good, smart people doing projects around, as we've covered, Maximus and Kosa, BNB Pot, PulseBitcoin, Pulse Dogecoin. These kind of things are kind of the quality stuff at the top of the hill. Internet Money Wallet, things like that. Power City, those are the sort of things you want to be focusing on. All right, so cool. That is pretty much at the moment looking really good on results so far. 3 days in, we're in day 4 now. Pretty exciting stuff there. So a few more other comments there. It's only day 2, he says, but it's day 3 now, of course. The halving progress bar has been added, which is a nice addition there. And of course, we covered that, looking really good on that one. So I do like that. That's pretty cool having the halving in there. A lot of people will be pretty happy about that. What else that we got there? Thank you, Nomics Finance, for listing ASIC tokens. So the ASIC token is now listed on Nomics. So that's pretty cool. And I might retweet that one too. So very cool. And the price is actually pretty good too. It says here $1.61. Actually, go have a look at that. We should be able to pull up that price there. Yeah, $1.60 at the moment for an asset token, which is pretty cool. Down 5%, but it's at $1.60. And pretty much following PulseBitcoin around. Sorry, Pulse Dogecoin, pretty much following the Pulse Dogecoin price. But like Kosa have been following the Hex Hex price there. It goes and follows Hex price with the HSI buybacks. This is kind of following the same pattern there. All right, cool. So that is pretty exciting. So lots of good stuff happening here for Pulse Bitcoin. Let me know in the chat there if you're mining. Let me know if you're mining. Maybe I should do another poll about mining. Are you mining? Actually, let's end our poll. We got 99 votes. Can we get one more vote for our price thing? And I'll do a Pulse Bitcoin mining thing. We need one more. I'm looking at it now. Someone's got to vote. One more. We need one more. And I'm going to set up the Pulse Bitcoin mining to see whether you guys are mining out there. Let's have a look here. We got still 99 votes. I'm not seeing that one. Where's that magical 100? Someone must have not voted yet. Get in there and vote. Just holding on for that, sir. I'm waiting for that. Come on. Yes, we got to hit 100. Woohoo! Let's end the poll. Nice one. Nice one. So the poll's finished. We got the 100. Nice one. 100 votes in our poll. That makes it a pretty good poll. What price will Hex by the time of Hedron Hex HSI auctions be on the 13th of November? Greater than or equal to 3 cents. 4 is 33%. So 1 in 3 people think it's going to be more bullish than 4.3, which is pretty cool. At the moment, of course, we've got the Hex price. Let's just pull up the chart while we're talking about it. Let me just take a little second there. So this is the Hex price here, and we're talking about by the time we hit this date here, and at the moment we're at 3.543 cents. So 1 in 3 people think we'll be greater than or equal to 3.3 cents. 25%, 3.6 to 4.2. So really, over half of people are bullish. So that's 1 in 4. That would be 58%. 58% think that we're going to be over 3.6 cents, which is where we are now, or higher. So that's pretty cool. 23% under between 3.2 and 3.5, and only 17% think that we're going to be under 3.1 or below. So it's pretty crazy there. So lots of fun there. So yeah, I think people are generally a bit more bullish at the moment on the Hex price, and especially after today's little move, which is pretty nice. Let me get into the next poll then. Are you mining Pulse PLSB? Yeah, Pulse. Let me just write out the full name. Pulse Bitcoin PLSB. And yes, I guess we'll soon. And let's go. Maybe. Are you mining PLS? PLS now or in the near future? Yes, mining now. Will soon. I will soon. How about that? I will soon. Maybe I will. And no. Okay, cool. Get in there, folks. We've got that poll. Get that up and running. Nice. Very nice. All right, so that's pretty much where we are at the moment on that one. So looking good. Pulse Bitcoin having a really nice time here. I just got a little bit of a sell-off there, just as we've been talking, $7.76. But looking pretty nice, this chart, to be honest. These are the 2 periods, of course. Once this is over, then the PLSD will stop burning, but we've got a long way to go. For 2 months to go for PLSD burning to ASIC. You need ASIC to do the mining. And, of course, the ASIC token miner there is also only for 30 days. That will be over as well. Now, you can use different currencies, cryptocurrencies for that. But, of course, that's going to be an interesting play on getting ASIC. You're not mining Pulse Bitcoin with that. Of course, you're accumulating more ASIC. And it's just you can hold on through the halvings there. So that may... I think Pepe was talking about that not being the best play at the moment, but maybe in the future it could possibly. It just depends on how the market plays out, I guess. But definitely it seems like PLSD to ASIC is the straight play there, and you're going to get that Pulse Bitcoin. Going to be fun. All right, cool. We probably should do a price prediction on the Pulse Bitcoin, and maybe we'll do that tomorrow or the next day. Probably the next day. We'll have a look at that as we go on. All right, cool. Fun in the sun. So that's pretty cool. The other thing, of course, is we've got the other charts here. So we're going to go to the rest of the free claims that we've been talking about. We've got the weight token at the moment. Not much change from yesterday. 00463 at the moment on the weight token. So not really doing too much there. It did break down from that half a penny. So it's a little bit weaker, but still holding on to that 0046 mark there. Zen, of course, is actually had a bit of a bounce back from yesterday. Yesterday, it got to a low of 401075. So got down to 401075. Has had a bounce back to 1340 there as well. So a little bit of a bounce back there. The BZN on a BSC is currently at 1639. So this is on the BSC chain. and it's did a very different thing on that chart. Look at that chart looking very different. Obviously doesn't have the gas fee, but still kind of surprising, that chart as well. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the BNB pot. And BNB pot was under maintenance earlier. This is our speculative play, by the way. So we've had two probable plays, which are Hedron, PLSD, PulseBitcoin, and of course accumulating Hex is just part of the zone at the moment. So that's kind of the play. And of course now we have got a speculative play in our world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. And it's currently still doing price discovery. This price discovery is going to last for quite a few months, probably at least 6 months in terms of price discovery, because there's so many positive things happening, and then there's some things that will sell off the BNBP as well, like the participation reward when that comes out. So we'll get a certain amount that will sell off, a certain amount will stake. You know, it's just the way it goes. This is what happens here. We've been focusing on the staking, of course, in this project because it gives you the external revenue coming in. You just have to stake, and the revenue that is play, and you just earn your revenue off it. So it's kind of cool. It's not based on an inflation token. It's based on a business, and it's the world's first crypto casino peer-to-peer game there. So it's pretty nice there. So we're watching this over many months to see how this plays out. And it is a world's first, which we love. Innovation in crypto is very rare these days. You do get it now and then. But this is definitely right up there with the peer-to-peer. So looking good here at the moment. Currently at $14, and just finding price discovery has got a higher low at the moment. So we've got a higher low in there at the moment at $13.36. Remember, previously we got down to the 78.6 retracement at $9.40. We have got now a new low, higher low at $13.36. So we've been watching this as well. I think this chart's going to do lots of extremes on it and find its way as it's got to go through different phases of its launch. So pretty cool. We're probably expecting maybe in about 3 weeks the roulettes to launch. Looking forward to the roulette games launching for sure. All right. Let me jump out of there. That's pretty much it on that one. They were in maintenance earlier, so they'll probably be back on to that one. Let me jump away from that, and we're going to jump out of over to Internet Money. Now, Internet Money, of course, the wallet is going to have their sacrifice coming up. I'm going to actually do a review of that and talk about what this might potentially earn, because you've got to think about it. MetaMask is making tons of money, right? Makes hundreds of millions, I think, of money, at least over 100 million, maybe 200 million. It's in the bear market now, so it's probably lower. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Internet Money has to get adoption. I think everything about it looks fantastic, but it still has to get adoption, and it's got the best story. Like, why pay for MetaMask and pay them the money when you can get the money, right? You swap and you get the money. Makes sense, right? Where was the airdrop that MetaMask was going to go, right? Where's some airdrop for MetaMask for the swapping feature? People have talked about it for a long time, never came, right? They're earning this big money, but it's just going to them. They're all greedy cats, right? All greedy cats, not giving any of that money back. We haven't seen anything. Are they going to do something in the future? Maybe they do. Maybe they put a pie on my face and make me embarrassed because I said that they're greedy cats taking all the money. But so far, they're just taking all the money. And so let's see what happens there with the old MetaMask swap feature. One thing I was going to say is that this is going to give the money to everybody that's got the tokens. If you've got the WD token, you can have the money. And now it's going multi-chain with the sacrifice. And they've got a big roadmap too. I mean, they've got a big roadmap. We'll try and get KG on the show to talk about that. But I'm going to have a look at the numbers. We're trying to crank some numbers out there as well. Let me know if you've done some yourself. That'd be cool about what this can actually turn over. Because you got two things, right? You got to get adoption, so you got tons of people using the wallet, and then you've got to have people swapping on the wallet and with decent volume. Otherwise, you got to get that revenue up so that you are when you're going to sacrifice for this thing, that you're going to make the money back. It's going to be on multi-chain, so that's going to help with the revenue scaling. But how does that play out? That's what you got to think about there. So it's pretty cool. Now, obviously, MetaMask has been doing well, but they had first mover advantage, really, didn't they? They've been doing super well, and they don't even have all these incentives to get people swapping all over the place over there. And I imagine that they would do the same inside the Internet Money wallet as well. But you got to get the marketing. You need money for marketing, get the adoption up there, and things like that. So there's lots of different components. But I actually am very excited about it. I think that they might be able to do some pretty cool things, and profit sharing is the way of the future, right? Pulsechain has heaps of projects where there's profit sharing, so I'm excited about this. We'll look at this, but we're going to look at it critically. We're not just going to because I love it a lot. We're going to look at how much money can you actually earn in it versus the amount of sacrifice, things like that. Now, I agree with like Liquid Loans. Liquid Loans did like 51 million in their sacrifice. I think that was over collateralized, but that said, their team has been delivering at the top level. They've really been delivering top stuff in the old Liquid Loans team. So I really like that. So it's a bit like a capital trade-off to how much value can you make that economic, right? Can you make that value trade-off economic? Now, a lot of the projects that have had sacrifices, maybe they won't do that at all. But these ones definitely are contenders for getting that big X multiple value play. And of course, we look forward to that. So cool. There are some just brief comments on the internet money. We're watching this one pretty closely. They do have an explainer video as well. I think I've got that video on this channel. I put that on there as well if you want to check out internet money wallet explained. We've got it on here. Now you'll be earning multiple. So people are trading different currencies and you're holding the token. You'll be earning multiple dividends of those tokens, which is pretty nice, right? Especially when Pulsechain launches, it's going to be pretty fun too. Right, so cool. That is pretty much it on there. Let's jump over to the Hex Daily Stats. That day 1056 hot off the press. Before we do that, let's get into some of the chats. We've got a couple of comments before I read out go through the Hex Daily Stats here. Let's jump all the way back to the top here somewhere. Let's go back up here. Let's look. Let's go back up here. Let me go up. I think I got up to there, so caught up. Tin Top got up to Tin Top. Got up to Sam, and Advances got up to that one too. Got up to Hex Hodl there. So we're just jumping through some of that. Smash those likes, says KD. Definitely smash the likes. Hex Hodl says the 280 million of DAI held in a PLSX SAC wallet. And this DAI is worthless as a copy. So it's best utilized to buy off the Hex for the LPs realize. Let me have a look here. Like really fast the night before. That's true. What else do we got there? Let's jump over to some of this. The Christmas lineup already set, y'all. That won't be next year, says Max. Yeah, you're probably right there. Pac-Man's in house. Let's hope it will not be out after the DeFi becomes illegal, says Pac-Man. You've been following that pretty closely, haven't you, Pac-Man, on the regulations there? Let's jump over here. We're in DeFi. That's going to be hard, of course. Astray in house there. Woo! Howdy all. Good to see you, Astray. I've forgotten what 5-cent Hex feels like, says Rothko. Yeah, that's probably true. It seems so easy. 5-cent Hex seems so easy at the time. And people have forgotten what that likes when it comes down into the bottom of that bear market. It's pretty funny. What else there? We've got Spike in the house. Hey, good to see you, Spike. What's up, peeps? Good to see Spike in the house. Got a couple other comments in there. Sandy Beach says, I did some PLSD to ASIC today. Nice one there, Sandy. And what else there? Let's jump through some of this. You can still buy more now, says Sandy Beach. That's true. Swearwork says, trying to think through creating ATM miners to redeem more ASIC tokens in the future versus mining PulseBitcoin today, while the mining rewards are much higher before all the halvings, says Swearworks. That's true. It's true. We've got Brian in the house here, one of our 2 community leads in Discord. Good to see you, Brian, as always. What else there? We've got a couple other comments. Just jumping through these. Christian says, so many products being launched when Pulsechain comes out, that amounts to opportunity to build wealth. It does indeed. And being early is typically good. Although I do think that there's kind of like 10 projects that are where you're going to make most of the money, to be honest. Like the best money in particular. What else? There's Sandy Beach. They're teasing some people in the chat there, I think. Jump through some of that. People talking about chicken nuggets or something like that in there. Chicken nuggets, chicken dooma. DP says the BNBP has technical issues with the game, says DB. They were doing maintenance on the game. I'm not sure. I haven't heard any, unless you heard something from Telegram there. Yes, BNBP is a money printer, says Christian. Good evening, Christos, Suitman. Good to see you. And who else there? Let's jump through some of this. Christian says, when is the SAC starts for internet money? That's a good point. I didn't actually bring that up. Internet money sacrifice. It's starting pretty soon, actually. Let's go to the sacrifice page. It's got a countdown. 36 days and 23 hours away is the sacrifice for internet money. I'll post the link in the chat there. It is in our Discord, so you can follow that. But there it is in the chat. Let me just jump over to the top here. Let me just get over to the Hex chart. We're going to jump over the Hex and put that on full screen on the Hex chart. We're waiting. I will get into the Hex daily stats in a second. Just catching up on some of the comments there. Christian says all these. Let me just scroll this in here and up there. That's the Hex daily chart there. All these projects that I'm sacrificing on is leaving me broke. Soon I'm going to have to go and apply for government assistance. I'm addicted to crypto. Please save me, says Christian. That's pretty funny. All right, so cool. Yeah, don't invest what you can't afford to lose. I'll be very careful about all that sort of stuff. Make prudent decisions there. You got to remember when you do some of these sacrifices, you got to think about the fact that you don't know when Pulsechain is going to launch, right? So you got to take that into account. That's very important. Now, obviously, a lot of people didn't know when PulseX and Pulsechain were going to launch, but hey, I think it's getting closer. All right, so cool. Let's get into Hex daily stats. Day 1056, folks, and the 23rd of October. We've got an increase of 6.6%. Woohoo! Second day of increase there. We can't wait till we get to double digits, right? We love double-digit increases. Slow and steady wins the race, though, right? Slow and steady wins the race. 3.591 cents on the snapshot. We've got the Hex payout. Another good day for the Hex stakers. 6.252 Hex, and of course now it's worth even more because the price has gone up 6.6%. So you've got bigger payment and a better price. That's pretty nice there. So let's actually do a calculator and see what that's worth actually. $6, was it 6.252 Hex per T-share times 0.03591 at the snapshot. That is 22.5 cents per T-share that you earn today in US dollar terms. If you're in a Kiwi land like me, that's closer to 40 cents. 40 cents if you're in Kiwi land. If you're in a place that doesn't have the US dollar and it's a weaker currency, and it typically has been decreasing against the US because of the interest rates, you'll be better off, even better off. The increase in T-share rate up 6.2 today, 24,932, and the share price there 895 is the US dollar prices. Now, when you stake Hex, your Hex goes through what we call a burn mechanism. Basically, gets off the market, gets burned and destroyed, and in return, you get shares, and those are called T shares or B shares, depending on how many you've got. T shares there means trillions of shares, and of course, you get your Hex payout based on those T shares in the ownership pool. So we'll talk more about that later on. That's pretty much it. Now, if you do every year that you stake, you get 20% more shares, and so up to 10 years, you get 200% more shares. So you can get a T share for a third of the price that you see here, in both terms of Hex and US dollars. If you stake out for 10 years, longer pays better. That's pretty much it. What else there? The average stake length there, 6.67 years is the average stake length for Hex stakers, with the APY, annual percentage yield rate, with yield, meaning inflation, in Hex up to 3.69%, and emergency in-stake penalties is 38.04%, which is pretty nice. That's paid out in Hex, of course. The market price of Hex can move up and down. Liquidity in the pool has gone down dramatically. Look at this. We're up at 296 million. We went down to 256 million yesterday, and now we're at 226.9 million. Very nice. Very nice. So that's going good there. The liquidity in the pool up to 12,422,000 US dollars and 1,920 in the pool there. Like I said to you, I'd love to see this liquidity pool get up to 20 million, 30 million, and let it go up and away. That means, generally speaking, means less Hex in the pool. So that'd be pretty cool. Remember, these pools move around based on people buying and selling, and of course based on liquidity providers adding and removing liquidity. Obviously, thinner liquidity means prices can go up and down a bit easier. Obviously, bigger liquidity means it's harder to move. But of course, if you have bigger players, it's better for bigger players if they're wanting to get big positions. Kind of works a bit like that. The amount of, like I talked about, the fact that Hex is quite easy to understand. We have a reward pool that has inflation and penalties in it. And we have a ownership pool with T shares or trillions of shares in it. And of course, at the moment, we're in the ownership pool, we've got 10,440,000 T shares in there. That's gone down 20,000 today. Obviously, of course, some big stakers coming out. And of course, if one of those changes the reward pool or the ownership pool, then the Hex payout per T share changes, and only changes subtly, generally speaking, unless we have some, decent events. But even now, those are only moving it so much these days. Let's jump over to the Hex amount of staked here. 9.73% of Hex is staked, and the penalties at the moment just under 2.3 million today. Really, really cool for if you're staking Hex. And of course, that means you're getting a bit more reward. And it's a pretty nice day. Last couple of days have been pretty good for the penalties. And of course, I don't celebrate a lot of people getting penalties, but it is part of the mechanism of the contract, which means that you do get that bit of extra bonus if people don't keep their responsibilities, they don't claim the hex in time, or they emergency end stake, and of course they get penalized. Some of those people, unfortunately, compromised, but a lot of people do emergency end stake on their own volition, their own free will. So that's and then of course that gets redistributed to those that keep their responsibilities. They say, I'm going to stake for a year, and they stake for a year, and so they get the full reward there. So it's kind of a nice little mechanism for getting people to keep their responsibilities. Although we see that a lot of people either haven't or have been late in claiming their stakes. Now the current holders up 87 to 311,237, but my headline number here is the staking numbers up 56 to 110,927. As Richard Hart always says, and I say this every day, is get out there and do direct promotions. And I always use the same examples, but you could do a pamphlet drop around your local block. I mean, it could be 100 houses. It depends how big your block is, of course. In the United States, I'm sure some of the blocks are pretty big, especially in some of the rural states. It could be a pretty big block there. Jokes aside, but so there we are. That's you could do things like that. Put maybe just be online, just spreading the word online. Whatever you find comfortable, that's pretty cool. Total holders up by 241 up to 503,601. So well over 500,000 there. Very, very cool. Now we're on day 1,057, getting closer to the Hex third birthday on day 1,095, the 2nd of December 2022. And of course, we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We come back to the Hex chart, of course, and we zoom in here. That is the Hex third birthday is right here. Once we move past that day, we'll be in Hex's 4th year, folks. 4th year of Hex. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Isn't that great? It's great for the community. It's also great for the branding of Hex as pretty much the best crypto savings product out there. It really is cool. Now, obviously, we've got a pretty nice accumulation zone at the moment, and we've had a nice little break above that at the top. At the moment, we're breaking out of this range. We were stuck underneath 3.46 cents. We're now finally broken apart from that. It's going to be fun to see this play out. We do have a volatile in November in play. So we're still in that sort of accumulation phase. I've got that going all the way through to the 15th of December after the last Fed rate hike. We're expecting 75, maybe 50 basis points. We'll see how we go with that, get to that 4.5% funds rate, and then maybe we'll have some blue skies after that. And of course, especially if we get Pulsechain coming. I think the market might react pretty strongly to the V3 with the ETH proof of stake because it won't be the BSC. That could be quite a catalyst, actually. Hasn't been in the past because we've just been having, test nets, but I think this time it might be a bit of a catalyst for a bit of a pump in the price there for the Hex. And of course, that's going to make, as the price goes higher, you get less volume. You have to pay more, but people like to pay more. Once the price goes higher, people like to come in and pay more. They don't like to pay cheap prices. They don't want a lot of volume at low prices. They want to pay high prices. This is the way the markets work. So this is the way it goes. So cool. All right, that is pretty much it on that chart. Well done, everybody. Day 1057 has started 44 minutes into it. Now, if you haven't joined our Discord, the link's in the video description here as well. Join our Discord. We're heading up to 900 members. Look at that, 891. And of course, you can join here as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Join our Discord. And of course, if you want to join as a supporter of this channel as we promote Pulsechain and Hex and other cool projects that are coming on the Pulsechain, either directly or indirectly, then hit the join button. We've got Pulskins, Xkin, Rich Hard Club. And of course, if you join our Discord, you got access to good information, a good community, and very supportive. And we try to make it as safe place as possible to be there. We are focused on obviously spreading the good word about Pulsechain. It's going to be pretty fun when it does launch, and I think we're all going to have a good time. You think it's not really busy now? If you think it's busy now, it's not busy now. It's going to be super, super busy when Pulsechain launches. It's going to be absolutely fun. All right, cool VIP, as we say, cool VIP. Now, in Discord, we have two main chats. We have the general chat for Rich Hart tokens, and we have the Pulsechain projects chat as well. The chat. So we pretty much, people talk about pretty much everything they want. Obviously, we don't allow scams or anything like that. But we have to identify sometimes those. Of course, scammers too. We chuck out scammers if they come in, things like that. So we do our best to make it a fun place, a free place, and a fun place for people to talk about. So pretty cool. All right, let's go back to the Hex chart. We're going to finish up here. And of course, let's get into the final couple of comments as we end, coming up to an hour and 15. Yesterday, I went for almost an hour and 50 minutes, I think, an hour and 50 minutes there. I'm trying to keep it to an hour and a quarter or so, just the way it goes. What else? We've got a couple more comments in the chat. Let's go. Hex Force 1 says, have you seen the stack totals? That's a good point. I had heard of it. I hadn't actually seen it, though. So let's go to that and have a look at the stack totals there. That is true. They had been updated on the sacrifice checker. So let me make sure I'm on the right wallet, on the right chain. I am on the right chain. Let me make sure I go to the, I got it. Right, cool. So this is the latest one, 23rd of October, folks. Oh, man, the last time we had a sacrifice for Pulsechain and Pulsechain sacrifice, it was the 25th of August. We've now got a new one, the 23rd of October. It might be a bullish sign, maybe a bullish sign, for the old Pulsechain V3. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. Let's quickly check Richard Hart's chat there, actually. Not sure whether he's made any comments about this. I check Richard Hart's most every day. And let's see if he's got anything here. I think there was Sci-Vive. Wild A's got a quote number 80 out of 369. Big shout out to Wild SJ. Richard posting some outfits. $3,000 jacket, $1,600 pants, $1,000 t-shirt, $100 hat, $1,600 necklace, and $1,000 shoe. Glasses, $855. He likes his bling bling. And that is Richard Hart there. So cool. Yeah, so nice to see that. 23rd of October 2022. And we've got the latest sacrifice. I'll have to check that myself later on. So that's pretty cool. Now we do have all these links in the video in the old Discord under useful links. You can get access to all the these checkers here. I think they're up here somewhere. Let me just have a look on here. I'm gonna go back all the way up to Hex here. Up top here, you can get access here. They are here. Pulsechain and Pulsechain sacrifice checker apps. General, Tron, and Theta. You can check them on there. It's pretty cool. But I will post this in the chat there in case people want to check it out. Bam. All right, cool. That is pretty neat. All right, let's jump over to there. And we're up to an hour and 17. Slightly over my time zone. Trying to keep to my times. Let's have that. Check my pulse. What's up, Hexagon family? Check my pulse as well. Joel says, I'm completely sacrificed out. Yeah. I think a lot of people are. Now, I don't normally talk about sacrifices anymore. As you guys know, I covered them pretty heavily at the beginning, typically the quality ones. Yeah, I haven't talked about many, but I do think that that's the internet money one is probably definitely one that we should evaluate again. It was obviously one of the better sacrifices, sold out pretty fast as well. The Truth Engine works, says Rothko. It certainly does. And Hex is the GOAT, says DB. That is true. I mean, look, let's jump through some of this. Wake Dog's in house there. As soon as it pumps, a dump person comes along, says Wakey Dog. That's true. That happens a lot too. It's just part of crypto, really. All right, so cool. Where we are, folks, at 3 cents. Let's see how our mining's going. Let's see how our Pulse Bitcoin mining is going. 61 votes. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, let's end the poll here. Let's see what it is. Are you mining on Pulse Bitcoin, PLSB, now or in the future? Yes, mining now. 49%. Wow. 1 and 2 people that out of 60. So 30 people out of 61 are mining Pulse Bitcoin. Wow, that's fantastic. No, 24%. So 1 and 4 are not. So what's about 15 people are not mining Pulse Bitcoin? Maybe 16%. I will soon 1 and 10. So 9% there. So what's that? Looks like maybe 60 to 70% of people will look at mining some Pulse Bitcoin. That's pretty impressive results there as well. So cool. And that's slightly stronger the results than I expected. So it's slightly stronger than I would expect, but that's pretty impressive. So cool. All right, cool. Here we are now on 20. I think that's pretty good. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourself. And I will catch me tomorrow. I might have a big surprise for you guys tomorrow. Just saying. Just saying. Hopefully I can deliver. If I say something, it's sort of like announcing the news of the news, right? You announce the news and news. And you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. That's all. It could be pretty epic. It could be a lot of fun. So let's see how we go there. Now I've set the teaser. I've set the teaser up. I've got to deliver now. Otherwise I'll get mocked and ridiculed. This is the way it is. This is the way it goes. So cool. Let us jump into Play. What is going to play something here? Yeah. Where am I playing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. And look forward to tomorrow's show. Maybe pretty big. Let's see what happens. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is already better. All right.